What is going on, Amazon sellers? Happy Tuesday. I hope that you're all doing well. Welcome in to the How to Sell on Amazon Ask Me Anything, the daily show where you've got a question about Amazon, online arbitrage, Keepa, retail arbitrage, wholesale, you name it. We try to answer it for you. I'm Chris, and let's dive in. We don't have any questions as of yet. So, of course, I do need your help. If you've got questions, make sure to drop them in the chat. That way, we can try to get them answered for you. And, of course, I may have a tip for you, which I actually do today. I've been noodling on something and figured it may be helpful. Chris, what's going on, man? Glad to see you here. Kevin, tactical arbitrage at 6:15. Yes, sir. We're going to be going over tactical arbitrage at 6:15 tonight during the OA challenge. Absolutely. Did anyone else get the Amazon will buy your stock to sell globally? Yeah, that is available to just about anybody who uses FBA. So if you use FBA, you should have that ability. And I'm not sure if you can turn it off. I always forget. But they'll send you an email about it every now and again. Hey, Paulie, what's going on, sir? Glad to have you. Apologize if you can hear my dog in the background. The UPS man was here, so he had to go to war at the front door. What's up, Luke? Glad to see you. All right, well, I'll tell you what. We don't have a whole lot coming in the chat, so what I'll do is I'm going to share with you guys something I was thinking about the other day. I don't have, yeah, exactly, Chris. It is the unofficial return of Tactical Tuesday. I don't have, I've got a little idea and I've been noodling on it just a touch with Keepa, but I don't have it 100% fleshed out here. But I was thinking about products that have recently gone back up in price. And, you know, we oftentimes, Chris, sorry. Chris, I got a different code for you. I'll give you a different code. I used a very, very old one in that email by accident. But we always want products that, you know, the buy box has stayed nice and flat and we can make money on it. But wouldn't it be great if you could be one of the first ones to get back on a product when the price goes back up? Now, of course, you can do this by setting up Keepa alerts, but there are some other ways you can do this as well. The first way is we could come into the Keepa product finder and we could say, hey, you know what? Show me all the products that are currently, actually, we're going to say under 250,000 at the moment. And we want the buy box to be, let's say $30 to $35 over the past 30 days. We're going to do the same thing over the past 90 days. But currently, we want the buy box to be 30% higher. Now, I'm not going to screw up and get my math wrong here. All right. So 30 times 1.3 is 39. So we're looking at 39 to 45.50. All right. So 45.50. So we take the current buy box, we make it higher than the 30-day average, the 90-day average, and we've got 8,600 products right here. Now, the next thing we do is I'm going to go ahead and throw Amazon out of stock, and I'm going to choose the number of sellers over the past 30 days to be 3 or more. Now, if I really wanted to, I could say I want the current number of sellers to be less than 3. That way, I'm only looking at products where the number of sellers has dropped down, and maybe we get rid of some of the people who are looking for items that have 3 or more sellers all time. And now we're down to 399 products in this very niche search. All right. We hit find products here, and we'll just see some items that should have gone up in price very recently. So we'll look at this Aloha item here, and sure enough, average price is like $32.99. Now, this may not be a great example, but it has gone up to, we got to get very right to the end there, $39. Now, this is not a great example. I'd want something to maybe be 39 for a little bit longer. But if you're seeing the number of sellers go down on these particular items, I'm just trying to find another example in here. We'll pull up the Fisher Space Pen. With the Fisher Space Pen, we're seeing something very similar. We're seeing the number of sellers drop down to under 3 and the price go up. Well, if we've got access to these things, we could sell them pretty quickly. And of course, we could go in and we could look for items that have jumped up higher, more than 30% currently. But we could do a 30 to 35 and then check for items that have gone from 30 to 35 to maybe 45 to $50 currently. And the number of sellers has dropped down. We could mess around and say, hey, the new offer count should over the 30 and 90-day average be 5 or 6 or more, but we want the current number of offers to be less than 3. So we know that the number of sellers is coming down. All right. Those are, that's a different way you can look at things. And then while we're here, you could also do this with some of your old leads. Okay. And actually, you know what? I'll save that for tomorrow. I'll show you exactly how to take all of your old leads, put them into tactical arbitrage, and find the items that have gone, or not tactical arbitrage. Take all your old leads, find all of the items that have gone up in price, and we'll do that tomorrow. All right, let me answer some of these questions, and then we'll get out of here for the day. Paulie, saw my account was at risk of deactivation on my app last night. Yeah, dude. The Inform Act is hitting back yet again, giving Amazon sellers another round of heart attacks. So hopefully everyone gets through that all right. So, Chris, assuming both are equally available to you, what is your ideal mix between OA and RA? And this is a good question. I guess for me, it would probably be like 70-30 in my opinion. 70% OA, 30% RA. If I was the one doing it all. If I was building a team, maybe that would be a little bit different, but if I was doing it myself and I had nothing else going on, I think it would be 70-30. I spend Monday and Tuesdays going out and shopping. Maybe I spend Wednesday morning prepping up a shipment and getting it into Amazon. I spend Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday doing online arbitrage to the prep center. I think that would be the way to do it. Hey, Jeff, if you had to start over with $1,000 to invest and wanted to avoid leverage, how would you go about scaling smartly? Well, what I would do personally is if you're going to start out with $1,000, I would be very cautious with my capital and look for some higher ROI items to sell that have had a long history of selling at higher prices and and I know that they're going to sell within a quick period of time. I would try to merchant fulfill. Now, here's the reason. I want to find those higher ROI items, or I want to find super fast selling items, and I want to merchant fulfill them. That way I can make my cash conversion cycle as short as absolutely possible. All right. And the reason is the velocity of money. You know, if you can do a 15% ROI, but you could turn over your money 2 times a month with FBM, you would be better off than taking a 30 or even a 40% ROI and only being able to turn over your money 1 time per month. Long term, you would increase your capital much, much faster, even at a lower ROI. So that is likely what I would do. And then just be careful. You want to try to avoid any losers when you've got so little to be able to lose. Hey, Corey, what's going on? Hey, Chris, loving the OA challenge. Here to support your YouTube channel. I appreciate you, Jill. That's very kind of you. Uh, do you know how a legal letter to Amazon should state? Account suspended due to Section 3 with legitimate products, but the receipts lack of Amazon's requirement. My lawyer is Kenneth Ead. I would not be asking some guy on Instagram what your lawyer should be writing. If they aren't sure, then I would suggest finding new legal counsel. But if you've got an attorney, I'd let them handle it rather than me trying to write that for you. What would you estimate your percent of units you sell that is either break even or at a loss? Oh, that's a good question. It is. I think we're looking at less than 4% in our store. Um, that's very rough math. So very, very rough math. That's based on number of ASINs I know are. That's based on the number of ASINs I know are currently repricing at a break even repricing rule. Compared to the total number of ASINs that are available for sale on Amazon. You asked how many units, so I can't give you an exact number there, but I think less than 3% would be where we're looking at. Can you show us how to find in Keepa a steady buy box and very good movement? And seller fast moving item. We have done that. I would suggest that you go back and watch these lives because we've done that multiple times. Mr. Wynn, ever had an SPD miss the delivery window at a fulfillment center? I got one, and now it looks like it's sitting at UPS for a couple of days. I I don't. Sorry, I'm not laughing at you, Mr. Wynn. I don't know. I guess I haven't really paid attention that much. I've had things that have certainly sat around for quite some time. I would imagine they will redeliver it, but if it doesn't get there in a reasonable amount of time, I would call UPS and see what's going on. And I'm sorry, this was hilarious. If the receipt don't fit, must be counterfeit. That you're on fire this week with the jokes, Chris. This is number 2 that has made me laugh out loud. Follow up on the response. Can you clarify how FBM is a faster turn on cash flow than FBA? Well, the reason is you don't have to wait for the inventory to get into FBA. So let's say that it's February 4th. If you go out and let's say you do online arbitrage, okay? If you do online arbitrage, let's just say it's from Target, you find a great product that's got a 20% ROI, it's going to make you a $5 profit, whatever it is, all right, whatever your number is, and you buy 10 of them, you have them shipped to your house, they're going to be there in 2 days. So on the 6th, you can list them for sale. Now let's just say that they're fast moving items or they're fairly quick moving items, and you sell those out let's say in 3 days, and you're sold out on February the 9th, and you get them all shipped very quickly, and they're all delivered to the customer within 4 days. All right, so now you're out to the 13th. 7 days after that, after delivery, you're able to take your payment from those items. So you get all of your money back, plus any of your profits, and you can then reinvest those. If we do and if you do retail arbitrage, you could do that even faster because you could have them available today. Now, I actually have the ability to, as soon as I put a shipping label on an FBM product, I can actually take my payment because I have an older account. So with FBA, let's say you're doing online arbitrage, you buy the items today, they get delivered to you on the 6th, and then you prep them and get them all packed up and shipped to Amazon on the 7th. And now you've got anywhere from 7 to 14 to maybe 21 days before they get checked into an Amazon fulfillment center. And then maybe they go into FC transfer. Maybe you've got another 7 days for that. Then they need to sell, and then you need to wait for your payout. So your cash conversion cycle could be 45, 60 days using FBA, whereas your cash conversion cycle on FBM could be 2 weeks. And so it tends to be a little bit faster. We answered that one. Would you file an appeal on a restricted product complaint? I got 3 complaints for my Brazil store. Well, the thing is you probably are restricted on those. It may not hurt, but if you're not selling anything in Brazil, I would turn off your Brazilian store as well. You don't want to have to deal with those. All right. Last call. If you've got any question, how many units do you think a second prep center is advantageous? That's a good question. I would imagine if you're doing 2,000 units or more every single month, that a second prep center may be advantageous. I think if you sent 2,000 units to one prep center on, say, the West Coast, and then the rest of the units to a prep center on the East Coast, I think that could be a big advantage for you. Oh, shots fired from Corey. The boomer generation is so comical. I'm going to let you guys fight that one out. Chris and I will be back here tomorrow at 5:30 to do this live, and I'll let him reply in kind. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up a little early today. I need just a little bit of a break before we have our OA challenge tonight at 6:15. However, tomorrow we'll be back at 5:30. We'll do some news. We'll take your questions and hopefully bring you a little bit of snark. Yeah, that's it, guys. Have a kick-ass Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow at 5:30.